Hello students, I'm sure all of you like outdoor activities, and today we are going to look at persons who have great passion for such activities. Here is an ardent fan of mountain climbing who is looking forward to scale Mount Everest. And here are tourists in China walking up the Great Wall of China. They could have returned after clicking photos at the base of the China Wall, but they are determined to walk right to the top. Here is a group of riders who cannot breathe without riding. So they go on road trips, and I'm sure you have come across such groups on the road at some time. If they rode in groups, here is a solo rider. Some like to go on trips by themselves. Here is Elizabeth Beard, the first British woman to motorcycle around the world, a 35,000-mile solo adventure in 1982. And in today's chapter, we are going to look at an Indian solo rider who went riding to the top of the world. It goes by the title, A Shelter So High. This is my student Aini, who had been for an outing to Surichi Beach at Vasai in Mumbai. In today's chapter, we are going to meet a solo rider from Mumbai, and he is Gaurav Jani. He loved to explore, to travel to different places, but he never traveled alone. With him was always his partner, Loner, his motorcycle. They would travel together through the highs and lows, days and nights, through rain and shine. They wait for a chance to get away from the crowded and noisy city of Mumbai. Today, we will look at one such journey of his on the highest roads in India to Jammu and Kashmir, a journey that took about 2 months. Before setting out, he had to plan and collect all the things that he would require. A tent to sleep that can be packed, a sleeping bag to keep himself warm, plus warm clothing, and some food that would remain fresh for a few days. No, not the burger you see in this picture, but homemade stuff for the journey. Petrol stations or petrol pumps cannot be found everywhere, so Gaurav Jani carried some extra cans of petrol, and to capture the beautiful sights, he always took along his camera to bring back memories. Gaurav Jani and his partner Loner left Mumbai, crossed into Maharashtra and passed through Rajasthan to reach Delhi. He covered 1,400 kilometers on road, and it took him 3 days to reach Delhi. He was hoping to see something new in Delhi, but all he saw was the same kinds of houses like Mumbai, made of cement, bricks, glass and steel. So Gaurav began to look forward to his destination, where he would be able to see wooden houses with sloping roofs that would be covered in snow. Continuing his journey, in 2 days they reached Manali, he and Loner. He was thrilled to be in the mountains and to breathe clean air. Riding along these roads, he would reach the destination that he had chosen, Leh in Ladakh. When they traveled to Ladakh, it was in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but today Jammu and Kashmir is a union territory and Ladakh is a separate union territory. So Leh Ladakh was his destination, and this is the famous Pangong Lake in Ladakh. I'm sure you have seen the movie Three Idiots, and this scene at the end of the movie is at this beautiful lake. This area is also the cause of tension between India and China in the recent border conflicts. Traveling long distances each day, all that Kaurav needed was food and a tent to protect himself from the cold night air. Lona stood guard outside the tent, and in the morning it was the sound of the birds that woke him up to see the sunrise. Finally, Gaurav and Lona had reached Leh. It was for the first time that he saw such a high, dry and flat area called as a cold desert. It is here that he found high snow-capped mountains and a cold flat ground. The streets of Leh had these beautiful white houses, and as he rode, a group of children followed him. They liked his partner, Lona. They called out, "Chule, Chule," meaning welcome, welcome. All the children wanted him to visit their house, but he could visit only one. And that lucky one was Tashi, whose house was made of stones coated with a thick layer of mud and lime. It looked like a shed from inside with a lot of hay. They took the wooden steps to reach the first floor. "This is where we stay," said Tashi. "The ground floor is for our animals and for storing necessary things." Gaurav noticed that the roof of the house was made strong with thick tree trunks. The house had a flat roof where they would dry chilies, fruits, vegetables, cow dung cakes for the winter when most of these would not be available. Gaurav realized how every part of the house was built to suit the needs of the people. After the goodbyes, Gaurav traveled further to reach the rocky plains of Changtang at a height of almost 5,000 meters. Lona had a tough time along the rocky mountain roads. The place was so high that it was difficult to breathe. There was nobody around here, no petrol pumps, no mechanics, only clear blue sky and beautiful lakes. After many days, Gaurav noticed many sheep and goats grazing and a few tents. He wondered who lived at such a high altitude. Here he met Namgyal and came to know about the Chengpa tribe, who are always on the move with their goats and sheep. The cattle are their only treasure. The cattle give them all that they need: milk, meat, skin for tents, and wool for coats and sweaters. From these special goats, they get wool for making the world-famous Pashmina wool. The Chengpas graze their goats at higher and colder places so that they get more and softer fur or hair on the goat. Gaurav was carrying a few things on his motorcycle, but the Chengpa tribe carry everything that they own on their horses and yaks as they move from one place to another. And it takes them just 2.5 hours to pack everything. They use cone-shaped tents called rabo for shelter, which are made from yak hair, and use pashmina wool for themselves, since at the height of 5,000 meters, the temperature drops even to -40 degrees Celsius. Can you see those stones piled up to the left side? What do you think it is? Let us go in and see for ourselves. Here we are inside the stone fence, and we have all the goats and sheep. The Chengpas call this place as Leka. Having spent a few days here, it was time to return back home. For the return journey, Gaurav took a different route from Leh. He travelled towards Srinagar via Kargil. The houses in Srinagar took his heart away. Some houses were on the mountains, while some houses were on water. This is what Gaurav meant by houses on water, a houseboat. Many tourists come to Srinagar to live in the houseboats and to experience the difference. But these are not only a tourist attraction, people actually live in houseboats. These kind of houseboats are called as donga and can be found on the Dal Lake in Srinagar. Here are tourists enjoying a shikara ride on Dal Lake. Having enjoyed the sight of Srinagar, it was time to travel again, and from Srinagar he rode to Jammu. But Jammu had the same type of houses like Mumbai. Same cement, bricks, steel and glass. Everything just the same. He had enjoyed the different kinds of houses that he had come across in Leh, in Chengtang and in Srinagar. With a heavy heart, Gaurav Jani and his partner Lona returned to Mumbai. He felt that even his motorbike did not want to come back. But then, this was not the end. They would go next to a new destination. But for now, Gaurav Jani had brought back memories on his camera from his trip to the top of the world.